Hey, welcome to the Honey and Harry Show. I'm Honey.
And I'm Harry in the Mr. Producer chair tonight.
Yes, and welcome to spooky season.
It's spooky time.
It's spooky time. I had to look. So today I had a pumpkin brooch. And I was like, I have these little spiders. Of course, they don't have the H or the googly eyes. But I was like, I'm going to make my own brooch for the spooky season. So anyways, this is my little, that's why I'm wearing that. And I got our little pumpkin here. But anyways, today we have Patrick Reynolds. Everybody knows Patrick. A lot of people asked for you to come back and speak on the Facebook site with Old Baton Rouge. Okay, Wendy, I'm so glad she said she's ready. I know she's ready, so good. So we're going to, talk to Patrick about the website and how it got hacked. And I guess that's pretty much it. With that, I had something to say, but I don't know what I was getting ready to say. I kind of got sidetracked when I saw what Wendy wrote. I'm sorry. She said, "Hey, Patrick, it's right. See, it's right there. You can see where she wrote."
Oh, I see.
But anyways, so we're going to talk a little bit about that. So, welcome to the show again. Oh yeah, I wanted to say he was going to do our anniversary show, but we had somebody else on that show, so he was our first guest.
First one.
Who better to be our first guest than somebody that's in our family?
October a year ago.
Yeah, so that's so cool. So welcome back.
Thanks for having me. I'm excited to be back.
I know. And I told him, he was like, it was good for me to have him as my first guest because I was comfortable because I've known Patrick my whole life. So anyways, so welcome to the show and kind of tell us what happened to the website because we all know, because I remember looking on there and it was like, seeing all these pictures of like Indian people and all these crazy things.
4 months ago, woke up, drinking coffee, checking old images of Baton Rouge, and I noticed the name had been changed to Old Images of America. Okay, I didn't know that was coming. And then, like you said, lots of Western stuff, cowboys, Native Americans.
Yeah.
But this is weird. No one mentioned this. I didn't hear this was coming and all that. So started talking with other people, the administrators, and it turns out someone got into the Facebook group, blocked all the administrators so they couldn't get back in, and just started making changes as they would.
How does that even happen?
I have no idea. I think it had something to do with the fact that there were 80,000 members. It was 80,000 people. That's a lot of eyes. And maybe people who hacked it and changed it, maybe they had some monetary gain. I don't know how Facebook works like that, but they took it over.
And you lost a lot of pictures or not?
I tried to harvest as much as I could.
Yeah.
I went way back trying to grab as much stuff as I could. And I got blocked eventually.
Really?
Yeah, I couldn't get back in. And I think it was 8 years of, dozens, hundreds, maybe even 1,000 posts. But sometimes I was posting lots of stuff every day. All gone. I
know, that's so sad because I know I get on it all the time.
Yeah.
And anytime I get on Facebook, I like to click on it and just see what the new stuff people have put up because it brings back memories.
Well, the good news was that even before that day had ended, someone in our group said, okay, here's a new one, Old Images of Baton Rouge, new group, in parentheses. And we started over. We got the same administrators back, and we just started from scratch. And I think we're back up to about 11,000.
Oh, wow.
So it takes time to
does
grow
take time.
those kind of numbers. But the more you post, I think the more people join the group.
Absolutely. So Dad has it pulled up right now, and you can see that people have been posting. And do you run the site or not?
No, it was never mine. The guy who started it kind of dropped out, and the administrators took over.
Yeah, I think you had told me that the last show. But you're just so knowledgeable with all the things on here. I know I'm just looking. Wait, Dad, stop the old Mike the Tiger cage. So we took the kids to the game this past weekend, and we were like looking at the new Mike the Tiger cage.
The palace.
My gosh, look how terrible that is. And I always feel sorry for caged animals. Just saying, I just do. But although I still want him to ride on the football field. Which is even worse. You know what I'm saying? But I remember the cheerleaders.
I do, yeah.
Yeah, that was fun to see
it was fun. I guess, the longer he hasn't done it, people maybe forget that he even ever did it. It doesn't take long before memories start to fade. But I'm not a veterinarian. So if they say this particular tiger is not used to it,
It's probably not a
Yeah.
good thing if you really stop to think about
You
it.
stop to think about it.
It's
It is
probably
kind of
not a
fun.
good. It's not a good thing. All right, so why don't you tell us about some of the stuff that you've actually, like some of the new things that you have posted that and Dad has a bunch of pictures. So tell us about the train.
Well, I don't know if you probably remember this. The LASC, I think it's now called the LASM Museum, but
Mhm.
it was the old train station downtown in
Oh
Baton
wow!
Rouge.
See, and I didn't know it was the old
Yeah,
train
I love
station.
coming across pictures when it was actually a train station. I mean,
Yeah.
I never remember it that when we moved here, it was
Uh-huh.
already a museum.
Uh-huh.
But it did have a pretty neat train collection. It had passenger cars. It had a mail car where they would pick up the mail on the go and sort it
Oh,
and
that's
drop
so
it at the next
cool.
town. Like, yeah, it was a working post office in a train car. But it kind of fell into disrepair.
Yes.
I don't think anybody wanted to pay for the upkeep. I provided some of the pictures. You can see it's falling apart. The engine fell into disrepair. I believe that it might be in Mississippi, maybe Macomb, Mississippi.
Oh, really?
Yeah. It might have been scattered all over the place, but I thought some of those cars went to Mississippi.
Yeah,
And
that's so cool though. I mean, you know that's old. I mean, that's like so old that
Yeah,
engine. That's
steam
so,
engine,
Yeah,
you
steam
know.
engine. That's so old. It reminds me of Dollywood.
it's kind of sad, though. Again, Baton Rouge had something. If we would have taken care of it,
I know.
we would still have it. But it's easier just to let it fall into disrepair and get rid of it. You know, we
I
always
know.
learn after the fact.
I know.
Unfortunately.
Yeah,
That's-
these days, probably somebody could make a house out of one of those cars because all these little
Oh.
mini houses they're
Yeah.
building.
Yeah, that's the new thing, the little mini houses. You know, golly, now because like everything's so expensive. You know, everything's crazy. So what's the next stuff we have, Dad? Okay, so this is so cool. So
Well, you know, the USS Kidd recently left Baton Rouge. It's in Homa, I believe. It's at a shipyard. Apparently, the way it was configured put a lot of stress over after 40 years of pulling on the side of it. The way it was anchored to the ground, up and down, back and forth. They decided they had to fix it, and so it's gone. It may be gone for a year or two, I heard, but it's in Homa being repaired. But that picture that at the top is from May of 1982. And I remember that because I made my mother bring me to the levee.
oh
It was
wow,
very hot, and there was a crowd there. And I recall that they had high school students on the bridge dropping confetti and stuff as the kid went
oh
underneath
that's
it.
so cool.
Yeah, it was really, really hot. But the USS Kidd's a neat thing.
No, it's an amazing thing. That's so
Yeah.
cool. I didn't even know it had moved.
There's only, I think when the Navy decided to get rid of them, they had 4 ships just like that. One of them went to Greece. Baton Rouge got one. I forget where the other 2 went. But I think the Kidd was significant because it looks the most like the World War II vessel. Like they were
Wow.
able to configure it to look like it did during World War II. They put a lot of effort into making it look like that.
Can you imagine how many men you think were on those?
I don't know. I know I spent a cold night on it with the Cub Scouts. My son was in the Cub Scouts.
We visited one time, I believe.
Yeah.
Going on inside. And
I
of course,
remember
it's,
visiting one time
Yeah.
too. I think
It's
it was
not-
that with you, Dad.
yeah, I think so.
Okay, we all went.
It's not truly spacious now, of course.
No, none
No.
of that. Those boats are just so like that. You know, I mean, absolutely. Yeah, I do remember that. Was that when Catfish Town was? When we were
well,
going probably down
in and
there.
around that time,
It must
yes.
have been that time because I know the Canatellas had the coffee call down there.
Okay, that's right. That's right. They did. Co-
So anytime I could go get beignets, I was in, you know, going to get free beignets. But so tell us about the middle picture.
Well, there was a movie on Apple TV called Greyhound, and it was about a destroyer,
Mhm.
and it was filmed. Some of it was filmed on the USS Kidd. The kid was the kid was it wasn't called the USS Kidd. It was called the USS Greyhound, but it was filmed there. There's Tom Hanks waving to the crowd right there.
At the bottom, because I couldn't see it the
Yeah.
first time. It's at the bottom level. He's waving.
It's kind of neat. And of course, the very bottom picture is when the water recedes. How you can actually walk under the USS Kidd,
that's
which
so
they
crazy.
say is so unique because most ships are docked
Oh,
in
yeah.
water that doesn't go up or down as much. So with the
Yeah.
Mississippi River,
It's always fluctuating. Look
Yeah.
at that. I've never seen that. Isn't that crazy?
so I'm hoping I hope it comes back soon. That would be nice.
Did you say it might go to New Orleans too?
I heard a rumor that
He
it would
heard
go
a
to New
rumor?
Orleans for a few weeks before it comes back here.
Yeah, because it's so good for because I know even my grandkids, they really don't know this history. You don't
Yeah.
want to lose it,
Right.
and you don't want. I mean, you don't want it to all disappear. And, I have all the memories from what, like, I'm sure like you do, like what my grandparents kind of told me and the things
Yeah.
that they went through. And they went through so much.
Yeah, you say about the Depression and World War II.
Yeah,
you hear their stories.
You hear their stories where, it's like they saved everything because
you didn't know where your next meal was coming from. If you don't eat it for dinner, you're going to have it for breakfast. I think that's what the story I've heard.
Oh, yeah.
My grandfather, if you don't eat it for dinner, you're going to have it tomorrow, so you might as well eat it now.
Oh, yeah. Or like, they would always force feed me at the grandparents' house. They always think that like, okay, well, the poor people. I'm like, okay.
You look hungry.
Yeah, I was like, I know. Okay, so Wendy put Catfish Town and Steinberg's. And
Yep, we're going to get there in a second.
yes, and so Wendy, that's your dad's place. I thought that was, right? Is that right? I don't know. But anyways, so what's this?
This is, I learned about that. I didn't know this even had a name. It's the Nesser Overpass. This is where Jefferson Highway meets Airline Highway.
Oh, that's
if you're of a certain
crazy.
age, you'll remember Warehouse Foods. It was a grocery store. You remember Warehouse Foods? Yes.
That was like the big thing. Remember
Yes.
going grocery shopping there
That's
with
right.
your mom? Yeah.
You had to buy your bags. They
Yeah.
They didn't put the cans out. They just ripped open the box. I heard on the radio, one of the morning guys was talking about the Nesser Overpass. I was like, I didn't even know it had a name. But if you drive slowly, go down the Airline Highway, as you're going over the overpass, right to the side.
Oh,
sure
that's
enough.
so cool.
But I just thought it was unique that
That
unique. Picture how much it's changed.
And I think that building's still there, the Warehouse Foods.
Yeah, it's a storage building.
It's
now.
just a storage building.
Yeah.
I remember going there with my mom. We had 2 grocery carts, and I'll never forget because we were shopping, and my mom left her wallet. She was so mad. I remember that. I'm sure Mom will say something, but yeah, I remember that because that's where you did. That was like the new thing. It's kind of like
Save money. Yeah,
save money, kind of like a Costco now.
Yeah, and
You
I
know?
remember my mom. They had in the middle of the store. There was a TV and a VHS player or a Laserdisc player, and the kids just sat in there.
Right.
They had benches,
Yeah,
and the
when you
kids just
couldn't
sat and
leave
watched
there.
TV. No, you
Yeah.
couldn't. Right, but
Yeah,
the
you
parents would
could.
shop
Yeah.
while you watched cartoons.
I know. It's kind of like how, and I know this isn't Baton Rouge, but like I remember always going to Schwegmann's in New Orleans with my grandparents. And I felt like that was maybe it wasn't that big, but I always felt like that was a big grocery
Well, the
store.
one
It was a big grocery.
Yeah, the one in Sherwood Forest was
And that was very
huge.
big too.
They
Yeah.
had
that was a big
Schwegmann's
one.
in
Yeah.
Baton Rouge?
Just
Yeah.
one.
They
Didn't
just
last
I
very
did
long,
not
though.
know. See, I did not know that. And that was on Sherwood?
Yeah,
Yeah.
Schwegmann's had their dream was to loop the entire Lake Pontchartrain, and so
Oh, okay.
Stores everywhere.
yeah,
Oh, cool. I did not know that.
yeah.
All right, Dad. So what we got next? Oh, there it is. Steinberg's, Wendy.
See, I never made it to Steinberg's. I knew what it was, but I thought this was always a cool picture because you can see what it looks like now, and it's just the building's still there. And if you remove
Here it is.
there it is. You remove all that paint. I wonder if all that Steinberg's is still underneath there.
Oh, I bet. And that was kind of like the there it is. Yeah. So I wonder if that's if that was kind of like, I guess, like an academy back then. Is that what it was? I mean, of course, I don't know.
It was all retail sporting goods.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
yeah, and I think they had several locations in Baton Rouge, but I think that was probably the main store.
Oh my gosh. My dad showed the big Paul Rose and the big 13th gate. Okay, so Wendy, we're going to tell the story again. So that was the guy that came to wax your floors that literally I couldn't walk. I remember going to her house and like couldn't walk. I kept falling and like hitting my head, and because the floors were so waxed, but I think the waxers must have came from that sort of wax there. I don't know.
Like
I
a
just know I couldn't
commercial
walk.
waxer.
I just couldn't.
I have
walk in
seen
there
the polar bear. I know the polar bear that she mentioned. I did get to see that one time when I went to Lipsy's
Oh, really?
location off of Segan, and sure enough, you walk in and there was a giant bear standing there looking at you.
Yeah. Oh gosh. Yeah. So
Yeah.
So I haven't been to the 13th gate ever.
Mm.
Never been. I'm so super scared of anything scary.
Well, that little door right there is called the chicken coop. That's where you wait
Oh.
for people who actually go through it. That's where they come out. So if you're waiting for them to come out, I was
No.
told that's the chicken coop. But I managed to go one time. I used to bring Peyton and his friends, and I was like, no, I'm not going in. I'm not going in. So I finally went the last time. So I wasn't chicken that time.
Oh my gosh, oh, well, I've never been, and I saw you camp. Hey, Cajun Pilot. But yeah, I've never been. I know Duty went one time, and he cried the whole way through. So it's like I'm not going. So remember, So this is something I remember, and I'm sure Wendy remembers this. If Stormy's on, she'll remember this too. Remember the WFMF one on over there by Cortana Mall? Kind of, it was like over there where Connell's Village was.
I don't remember that one. I remember one further down Florida. I think not Shiners. Yeah. That group that raised money, they had a haunted house further down Florida.
Okay.
Never found it very scary, but I don't remember the WFMF.
It was. I think it was the WFMF haunted house. I wish Stormy was on here too. Wendy, do you know? I think it was, but I just remember I went and I literally never got. Her poor dad got stuck with me the whole evening. Poor guy. I know I wouldn't get out the car. I was like, I'm not leaving.
A shout out to the 13th gate. If you can get past the scariness part, it's actually very impressive. Like the detail
can't even imagine.
I mean, if you can stop and just look at the details and not worry about the being scared part, it's really cool. And of course, the escape room they have is actually pretty cool too. Have you done the escape rooms yet?
No.
Right next to that, they have the escape rooms, themed escape rooms where you get clues and you got to figure out.
So it's not scary.
I think one or two of them are.
Okay, I don't.
But the rest are not scary.
I don't do anything scary.
They can intimidate you, but they're not scary.
So like I made this tonight and he didn't have the googly eyes, and I was like, oh, I better put googly eyes because he looks too scary. So I'm not doing the 13th gate. So he has the good, and he has the H for honey. So he's a happy spider. So anyway, so Darren's saying on Florida Boulevard by Brian Harris Chevrolet, that was where the WFMF was. Maybe that's where it was. I don't know. I just remember I was scared to death and I couldn't get out the car.
It was so long ago.
It was
You're so old.
So old. Such an old lady. But anyway, so, all right, Dad, so let's go to the next. Oh, gosh, we all know the Mama Brava's down there.
I don't think I ever ate there except for pizza. Like a slice of pizza. That's what I'm saying. I never ate a meal. I never got spaghetti.
Well,
I never got...
No.
It was always at the bar.
Yeah.
And always a slice of pizza.
One slice of
pizza.
That was it. None of us had money.
Yeah, well, that probably had something to do with it.
Yeah,
I don't think I ever saw anybody eating there. Everybody just got a slice of pizza.
That's what I thought. That was back in. See, I wish we would bring back the mall, like the mall days where they had the water and you were throwing the pennies, and I wish they'd bring the mall. That was such a great time.
Cortana with you had a bookstore, you had a record store, you even had a movie theater at one time.
Yeah, you did.
But Cortana had this kind of. It wanted to be a food court, but it really wasn't a food court. Remember, you had the Mama Bravas, and you had. I think it was called Judy's. Judy's. I remember it was 3 times.
Remember, it had a Mexican restaurant.
They had Chick-fil-A.
Oh yeah, they did have the Chick-fil-A.
So it was kind of like a food court, but it really wasn't a very good one.
That was when you could. That was the only place you could get the Chick-fil-A. Remember that?
That's right.
So it was like when you got the Chick-fil-A, it was golden.
That was the only place. Had to go to the mall to get it.
I know. Okay, so like Darren said, look at the Piccadilly. So Catholic High bought that, right? Yeah. So Catholic High bought that. Now I know. Piccadilly, when my son was there, Piccadilly was, I think they were serving the lunch.
They did. Yeah, when my son was there as well.
Yeah.
They were still supplying, and I think, that's the Westmoreland location.
Lunch at Catholic, yeah.
I think that's what kept that one in business so much longer, because they got their numbers for that store from providing meals to Catholic High. So once,
Well, I remember I had to cut Duty off at one point because Duty was eating a lot of pies, and like I was like, wait a second, like we're not buying pies and ices, like we're eating food. And so he would bring his lunch most days, but that was like a treat when he could eat in the cafeteria over there.
Do you remember that Piccadilly? I think they had the little holes in the wall with the conveyor belts.
Yes.
For the trays.
Yes. Then they would put the trays, and you could watch the tray go all the way down the building, all the way down the side of the building.
So cool.
And didn't they have one just like that on Plank Road too?
The one on Plank Road is still there.
It's still there, I think.
Yeah, and it's amazingly still has the same phone number. I think it opened in like 1960 or something.
Really?
Yep.
And it's still there.
We used to eat at that from Exxon. A lot of Exxon people would do to that. It was close enough.
I love the Piccadilly. Can I tell you? I used to love the Piccadilly. Like I just love the green beans are always so good. The hamburger steak's good.
It's consistent.
Consistent food. Right.
And, you always think Piccadilly is it's going down, or it's not an expanding market. But I just read yesterday they're going to open up like 6 more restaurants like in the next couple of years. They're rebuilding in Gonzales. I think they had one. Was it Denham?
They did build one in Gonzales, but they just tore it down.
Right, where they rebuilt. And apparently they didn't own the building.
Okay, so something.
So, but
Because
yeah,
I love the Piccadilly. I like going and get. I mean, that's good home cooking,
It
mashed
is.
potatoes. And I love to get a pie at the end.
yeah. I mean, I know we're going down the line. It's
Obviously,
fun.
I don't need no more pies. I've
It
been
was a
eating
lot
that
more
pie.
fun when I didn't get the bill, though. It seems like I'm always last now, so I get the bill. When my parents were behind me, it was a lot more fun.
You have to
It
be
is
more
more
careful than that, Pat.
I know. Oh, look. So Wendy said the interior colors were Kelly green and Pepto pink. Hopefully, it would get decorated better for the new ones. But yeah, Mama Bravos brings back so many memories. I can remember thinking I was so big going to the mall with my friends and just getting my slice of pizza. I just thought I was something. Okay, so Hoppers. I don't know this place.
No, me neither. This was before. This was before my time. But if you delve into Baton Rouge history, you'll come across it pretty quick.
Oh, really?
Yeah, they had a bunch of locations. I think the thing that killed Hoppers was actually the arrival of McDonald's.
Really?
Yeah, I've read that Hoppers. Now I don't know if that's 100% accurate, but
Now they had one on Highland Road. No, on Nicholson, between LSU and downtown.
right.
A long time ago, because I think it was there when I went to school.
So that was a Hoppers. So that was like a hamburger.
Hamburger and shakes.
Okay, that kind of stuff. And it looks like the Holiday Inn sign.
It looks if you
Looks
ever
like
put a
Holiday
Holiday
Inn.
same manufacturer made that sign. It's like, hey,
Must
you know
have,
what?
yeah.
I know, because I love the old Holiday Inn
The
sign.
neon and all that.
Oh, yeah, that's so cool.
It looks just like it.
It does. And then Fast Track. I remember Fast Track. Oh my gosh, we loved that. We thought that was like in high school the big thing to go to Fast Track.
I love going around town and finding the fast tracks that are now, something else.
Yes.
Well,
But you know what it is too. We were saying that Wendy's, the place I'm going to go try that barbecue place. That was the old Fast Track on Government, right?
Right. They're all over the place. I mean, yeah.
Yeah, isn't that crazy? So they're like revamping them to be something else.
This is on Perkins Road, right by Benny's on Perkins, between College and Essen. There's one. It's not a CC's. Did they make it a CC's? I don't know, but they're everywhere, and they've been repurposed to whatever you can imagine.
Oh, I know. It's crazy, but
know.
I always liked Fast Track. I thought it was good. I mean, but I was in high school, so everything was good to me then. And also, when he put something on Orange Julius, what is that?
Oh.
They did have one in Cortana Mall, but
yeah, that's what in Cortina Mall was
it
like.
was a caramel corn place.
Yes.
Caramel.
It's like
How could I forget that? What's wrong with
Roundup
me?
ice with a powder that was orange flavored, and if you wanted to spend an extra 50 cents or something, they threw a raw egg in it and stirred that up.
Dad.
I'm serious, but it was delicious. Okay, the Lakeside Mall in Metairie was the first place I ran into that. Quite 1,000 years ago.
Well, with Aunt Susan, I spent a lot of time in those malls.
Yeah.
I mean, it was like, I'm going to stay at her house for the week. Yeah, we're going to the mall every day.
That would be Susan.
And it was so fun. All right, Dad. So what we got next?
We got Tiger Stadium.
Oh my God! Look how cool this is. Look at it. How little it was way back then.
I love these pictures.
It's
It's the
amazing.
100th anniversary. LSU's all into celebrating the 100th anniversary of Tiger Stadium.
Okay, I
It's on
didn't
the
know
field.
that.
And
Okay.
I think it's I haven't been to a game yet, but I think they're saying the Ole Miss game is when they're gonna
Do the whole thing.
the main
Do it up
celebration.
big.
Okay.
And but these pictures, when you can see the journalism building in the upper left one, you can see the journalism building, and the north end zone is not even complete. It's only like halfway there.
My dorm room's not there yet.
Your dorm room isn't there yet.
You were in the
That's
north end
true.
zone?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. That's right.
Wow!
Age 21. I was there.
Isn't that crazy that you lived in the stadium? Only a boy could do that.
It's a great story for Baton Rouge and for LSU. You hear the story. Huey Long was told you can either have dormitories or you can have a stadium, and of course he was like, the WPA said pick, and he said, okay, well we'll have dormitories right next to the stadium with a slanted roof. I don't know if that's accurate or not, but it's a really good story.
It's part of the lore, for sure.
It
really
is.
is.
It is. That and the fact that he lived in it. So how did you? So I have a question for you, Dad.
Yes.
So on game days, how miserable was that?
Well,
For you to
it's
like, if
very
you were
interesting.
having because you're a chemical engineer and all that, like how in the world do you say you leave?
No
right?
one in their right mind would have stayed in North Stadium during the game, except I had a classmate who used to study during the game, and he studied in the stadium. And
Really?
I can't fault him because he finished with a 4.0.
How
So,
amazing is
yeah,
that?
but really, it was you wouldn't want to be in there then. And the trick was I was in the band, so I would rush back from after the game and run up into the stadium, change my clothes from out of my band uniform, and then run out onto the field where Pete's Palace is right now. Was all grass, and you would look at the license plate to find one with a B on it, and hitchhike a ride back to New Orleans.
Isn't that crazy? You couldn't. I mean, like now it's like serial killers everywhere.
Oh yeah, you don't do that anymore.
Again, part of the lore. It's a great story. It's a great
great
story.
story.
Don't do it now, but it's a great story from back then.
Yeah.
Kids
Don't do
this.
that.
No,
Don't do
don't
this,
do
kids.
that.
That's right.
Okay, so Wendy's saying, remember round the corner?
Yeah, back on the restaurant theme.
Right.
That was a good place.
Okay, so Wendy, I don't remember that.
I never went, but again, it's something I've happened upon, and I'm sure Harry probably went there.
Kind of a classic hamburger joint, I mean, sort
I
of
don't
like
remember.
the Burger Smith or one of those kind of things.
Okay, I don't remember that.
But a nice place to sit and enjoy a meal.
They
I think
probably
that the
they
selling
probably-
point was they had a phone at every table,
Yeah,
Oh, really?
and you pick up the phone and you would tell the kitchen what you wanted.
right.
That was like the drawing was, hey,
It was a red phone. That's right.
I get to pick up a phone and
Oh,
place an
look, she
order.
said that.
Yeah, so
It didn't
Yeah.
call for the nuclear weapons strike or anything like that.
Well, I was so ADHD. Mom and Dad were probably like, "We're not taking her anywhere so she can pick up a phone and do anything." So, oh my
Yeah.
god, that's so cool. The phone would light up when the food was ready. That is so cool.
yeah, I think it made it into the 80s. I did some look. I looked into it, and apparently it started in Colorado, and they got it to like 30 locations, made it all the way to Louisiana, and
Yeah.
then
Oh my god, why can't we have fun stuff? I feel like we don't have anything fun anymore. Like I just feel like everything's changed, and like we need to go back to the way things used to be, kind of.
It'd be like Poncho's Mexican Buffet, where you could
Yeah.
raise the little flag, and they'd come say, "What would you want? Oh, we'd like some more sopapillas, please."
again on Nicholson there, they had it seems like there was a lot on Nicholson that's not there. You would never know anything was
Right.
even there.
Isn't that
One of the best
crazy?
places was a little Chinese drive-in. That not the one on the left as you go into town, but the one on the right. It was just a hole. Wasn't a hole in the wall. It was like a box with a window in it. And they made great Chinese takeout. I don't know whether they own the store across the street now or not, but it's right around that same spot.
Do you, Harry? Do you remember a place called Dairy Delight? Was that there when you were there by chance, or was
I
that?
don't remember.
Okay.
Don't remember.
Well, I know. What was it? The Wiener Schnitzel's still there because
Oh, yeah, it
Lindsay's
is.
father-in-law loves that place. Like I don't eat there, but he loves it.
Somebody must eat there because
Oh
my God,
it's been in business since the 60s.
The wife
know.
and I had there every once in a blue moon, and get
You're
a
the one.
chili cheese dog with onions and
It's
some
their
fries.
generation that goes like, because that's Big Will and them go, and Wendy they go,
Oh, yeah.
and
I mean, yeah, like I said, enough people go to it, so
and it still looks the same with the
Yeah.
little roof.
Oh
Yeah,
yeah,
the drive-through,
drive-through underneath the roof.
Underneath
the
the roof,
roof.
that's
I
right.
remember. Okay, so Darren is saying Fleur de Lis pizza. Give him the update of what you know.
Well, I've talked to a source, and he said that the sellers realized their error and that they were asking too much, and they got another real estate agent. But it's still kind of hanging in the back. We still don't know anything,
Yeah,
which
gosh,
is terrible. But
It is terrible because I mean, we would love to have that pizza back.
I know
It's
And
a nice piece of property. It's it's got a lot of space,
Yeah.
so something nice could go there. I don't know whether anybody could afford to reopen the place though. That's the worry.
I drive by and I'm like, one day, I think someone took they had a Jack's beer sign, and somebody stole it. So I'm thinking
gotcha.
someone's going to steal the Fleur de Lis sign. Someone's going to steal
no,
it.
don't
my
give me any
God.
ideas.
I don't give you ideas, but every time I drive by, I'm like, it being empty and no one being there, it can't be good. So
Wendy was going to pick it up.
Until she saw how much money.
When they start saying seven figures, you get nervous.
Well, I mean, how can they ask that much for a building like
I
that?
think I don't know.
It's probably. I don't
$8 million.
know. It's the property that would be the deal now.
$4.5 million.
Yeah, but I think that
$4.5
includes the
million?
recipe, so that I
Yeah.
just wish someone would open it up and sell the pizzas. You don't even have to have the restaurant anymore.
Yeah, the
Just-
jukebox too. That's
Oh,
right.
yeah,
That's
the
right.
Sell the pizzas.
It's a real jukebox.
I know.
not
Sell the
Yeah.
pizzas is right. Get one of those little things. and
all
just-
cash at
yeah.
4 point some odd. Oh, I don't know about that.
I know. They wanted all cash.
Oh,
They-
whoa.
oh my gosh, really? That's so crazy.
Crazy.
I mean, who
Yeah.
has that sitting around, you
Uh,
know?
But this past weekend, we went to eat, Selena and I, and my daughter Grace, and we went to Pastime.
Oh,
Oh, yeah.
And so Pastime's kind of a pretty good substitute. When you walk in, it's kind of like a time machine. It's
Right.
It's very groovy. It's very,
Right.
Uh-huh.
you know. So it's not the same, but it'll do. You
Now,
know?
well, the guy that runs the place has been there since the 70s, late 70s, early 80s, and but of course I know it from school because we used to go down there. In fact, one time I took Margaret down there on a motorcycle, and we ate at the Pastime.
I mean, these stories that I've been hearing since these people have gotten older, I'm like, I
yeah.
don't even want to hear it about me.
Yeah.
I don't even want to hear
That's
it.
right.
They
He-
wonder why.
He can hitch a ride back to New Orleans, but you can't.
Yeah.
Well,
and
if you can hide all your secrets from us, we can hide some of ours from you.
Yeah, well, I'm just saying, like, I would never let a boy pick me up on a motorcycle. Are you kidding me?
Well, Mama did burn her leg one time on the muffler, so that wasn't
Oh
good.
my gosh, Dad,
Yeah,
that's
yeah.
terrible.
Yeah.
All right, so this is what of course, we know what Tiger Stadium looks like now. It's just crazy.
Yeah, it's I love that picture of the bottom right, the upper deck.
Oh,
But that's
yeah.
the old upper deck. People don't realize they tore that upper deck down and put a new upper deck in its place. That's not the same one.
Right.
Oh, that's crazy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And they did it amazingly fast. I think that probably took years to put up, but now when they put these upper decks, they put them up, really, really quick. And I love that escalator. That's like the longest
Right.
escalator
isn't
in
that
the world.
crazy?
So we know what sport makes money, don't we?
Yeah, no
I've
kidding.
heard rumors.
Well, you know what's so crazy? Like we went this weekend and we were in the suites, but I'm such a claustrophobic person riding that elevator.
Mhm. Yeah.
I'm just like telling people you can't come in. Like, you can't do that.
It's an elevator for 50 people,
I'm
but
like,
just
no,
you on
you
this
can
ride.
only be- Like, no, I was like, that stressed me out all weekend just in that elevator, I swear. But there's so many people, I can't imagine riding that escalator up there either. Just so jam packed sometimes, and I think as it's hot. You know, when it's hot, you're just miserable and you feel like you can't breathe. And oh yeah, Darren. So yeah, but we had a good time we brought the Grands, and they had just the best time at the game this past weekend.
Yeah. I mean, like I
Great
said,
memories.
We'll only go to maybe 2 or 3 games this year, but yeah, it is kind of neat when it's just a generational thing. You
Yeah.
know, like my wife's parents had the season tickets, and now Selena and her siblings have the season tickets, but their kids are going, and now their kids are bringing their kids, and it's really
Right.
it's really kind of a neat thing.
It is because and it makes like I just know like the kids are going to have like they had made the best memories that day.
Yeah.
Being there, so they had such a good time.
Well, they'll still sell the place out, even though it's on TV, because people want to be able to go see the
Yeah.
Alabama
Oh,
game, the
yeah.
Ole Miss game,
And you don't want to be the ones to not get the season tickets after your family's had them for 40 or 50
Right,
years.
yeah.
You don't want to be the ones to
No, let them go.
Yeah.
let them
Right,
go.
right,
No.
right.
So,
Yeah. All right,
not at
Dad.
all.
So what we got next up?
Well, that's all the pictures that Patrick sent along.
Okay, so I have some, and I mean, Patrick, please, because you were way more about history than I do. But pull up my plantation. So I thought what was really cool because it's old. We have 2 plantations that are like really close to where we live,
I know.
and so this is Mount Hope, and I can remember. Don't you? Every school takes a field trip here.
Yes.
Every
This Magnolia
school.
Mound.
Oh, that's Magnolia
Magnolia
Mount.
Mount,
I'm
right.
sorry, that's Magnolia Mount. Okay, I'm sorry. You should have put the name of it, Dad.
Sorry about that.
I made a mistake. So it's Magnolia Mount, and I remember like going, taking a field trip there. It was always so cool, and they kind of reenacted things. So, and that's right there on Nicholson.
And you forget that they're there.
Yeah,
Yeah.
you do forget.
You pass them. I know going down Highway, they have a
No.
sign, and I see it, and I know it's there, but you just forget. You just kind of take it for granted that it's there.
Oh my gosh, yeah, it's crazy though. But I mean, I can remember all my kids. Like, I think it was kindergarten. We went kindergarten or first grade. We always went on the field trip there, and they had the people dressed up, and it was so much fun. And then we got Mount Hope too, huh, Dad?
Yes, we have some photos of that.
And
as well.
so this is one of my friends. Her daughter got married there. And it's just beautiful, and that's just right down the street. And all of this has been here since like the Civil War.
I
It's
played music
great.
there one time.
You did?
Yep, Artemis played there one time, but it was amazing. They wanted us to play really, really, really soft.
Really?
I don't know if they have like a noise ordinance surrounding the plantation or what, but
Well, that's
we had
odd.
we had to keep the volume way down. So, but it's a beautiful place, and
It is so beautiful.
inside's very nice too. With the antiques and
It's just cool to hear because when you think of plantations, I always think, oh, that's between here and New Orleans,
right.
or that's the other side
Oh,
of the
that's
river.
St.
It's,
Francisville.
or St. Francisville. You always think it's not Baton Rouge. It's either way, north or south, but it's not here. When it is here.
It is
Right,
here,
right.
and and that's what people don't realize. I mean, like LSU has so much, old history. Baton Rouge it's old, and we forgot to mention. I mean, we're still talking about this, but we forgot to mention the Indian mounds.
Yeah.
And that's one of the things that I did want to mention. I know we didn't have a picture of that, but now you said that you can't go on them, right?
No, they put big old fences around them now.
Okay,
Like you
so-
really can't. You can't. People they say stay off of it, and
Yep.
people generally didn't. So now they put a big fence around it, so you don't have a choice.
Because I can remember running up those things when I was little, and my kids did.
Yeah,
too.
there was there's a news blurb that just came out that said that there's been a large grant to LSU to do preservation of the mounds, and I don't know what they mean by that, but it certainly means keeping people from the cardboard boxes off the mounds.
Yeah, I know. Well, but there aren't there human remains?
Yes,
Yeah.
yes.
And
And
that's
that's right,
And I
that's right.
get it. It's a disrespect thing.
Right.
It's you don't want. I mean, I disrespected. I didn't want to do that, but I didn't understand it either. But there's all kind of ancient stuff, and I think they were saying there's bear teeth in there, all kind of crazy stuff. I don't know how they know, but I read up
Right.
about it a little bit, and I found
mean,
that
they've
out.
been there. Campus, they were there before campus, obviously.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
I read something, and I was asking Patrick if he knew, and my dad. But they said it could be 11,000 years old.
As old as.
As old as, and that's older. If you want to think about this, that's older than the pyramids.
Yeah.
Yep.
Supposedly, we really don't know
And
anything.
you were sliding down on a cardboard box.
I
That's right.
know. I was probably just sliding down on God knows what.
Yeah.
Doing anything. I mean, little kids are crazy, right? But there was a whole group.
They can't fathom
Oh, yeah.
11,000
There's
years.
always 50 of them doing that. So, and then the other thing I kind of wanted to say, let's talk about the Hilton, Dad, but it wasn't the Hilton. It was the Heidelberg Hotel.
Many years ago, 1927.
Yeah, and so it was the Heidelberg Hotel when Huey P. Long was there, right? I feel like that's right.
In his era, yes.
Yeah. And that's where they had all the tunnels where he would take his mistress.
Yeah, he could leave the hotel and no one
All
would
the
know.
secret
Nobody would know
passages.
he was. Well, they're all having affairs. Those guys. It makes for a good story, But I think he probably was. And now it's the Hilton Hotel. And my son, we actually had his rehearsal dinner during COVID at the top at the Heidelberg room, and so beautiful up there. Have you been up there, Patrick?
I have not. No.
So they have the original brick, some of the original brick up there. I thought it was just absolutely amazing. And then,
When it was the Jack Tar Capitol House, your
Capitol
mother and
House.
I gave maybe a dozen weekends there for marriage encounter.
for Marriage Encounter.
And there was a little conference room at the back. I don't know what you used it for, but there was a room up there, and a great story was talking about secret passages or whatever.
Uh-huh.
We're in there. There's a weekend going on. There's couples presenting. There's priests presenting. There's 30 couples or whatever. And in the middle of a talk, two people dressed as sailors walk in the back door. I don't know how they got there. We don't even know where the back door leads. But so maybe that was one of the secret passages that they had at the,
Oh, wow.
at the hotel.
Well, do you know what they did over there? Haven't they revamped something? There's a bar or something. Have
Yeah,
you
I heard
heard?
that.
I haven't been there. I'm just asking if I know
I
you've
had heard that there was the tunnel,
I talked,
but
yeah.
then heard that the tunnel was closed off, but they had a bar or something
Yeah, I
about
heard.
that. But then I heard they opened the tunnel, so I'm not
Ah.
exactly sure.
Oh my gosh, isn't that interesting? All these, what were people doing back then? Building tunnels
Isn't it-
everywhere.
Harry, have you ever heard of the pajama incident with Huey Long, where I remember a history professor, and I don't know if it was at the Heidelberg, where Huey Long decided to greet an ambassador from some country in his pajamas.
I don't doubt it.
The green pajama incident. Yeah.
He and
Oh my
Earl were a
gosh.
pair of kind of crazy guys.
Yeah.
Well,
Literally.
typical like Louisiana politics.
Yeah,
and,
sure,
yeah, all crooked.
Well, spicy like the food.
Spicy.
It's all part of the lore, right? It's just
Yeah,
it's like the stadium with the dormitories.
Yeah,
You
but
got
it is. It's
right.
it's cool. All this cool history and all the all the different stories it's really cool. And then the only thing now, I want you to get back to the website, but I had found some things and I thought, oh God, being a history, history is so cool when you start like I always took my kids to St. Francisville in the summers, and we used to always go tour the plantations and learn all about history. And I know they've actually changed some of the stories that were there, because who knows what was true and what wasn't true. But I hate when you try to change history, because the only way to learn from it and not make the same mistake is to learn about it and not do it again.
Right.
That's just my thing, because I think you shouldn't make those same mistakes again. But anyways, I've always liked to teach the kids, because I feel like sometimes history class is so boring.
Not to me.
I know, but for kids, like
For
so
kids,
it's
yeah.
good to like say, okay, this is what you were studying about. Like,
Yeah.
this is where this might have happened. It's kind of good to kind of like put something together with it for kids,
Yeah.
especially boys.
And it's the little kids remember trying to memorize a year that something happened, and that kind of gets a
'Cause
little
all those
boring.
numbers-
Okay.
Right.
Who wants to remember a year, But
Mhm.
if you tell a story, then everybody listens.
Everybody.
And they remember stories. We
Mm,
all
that's
remember
right.
stories, okay? So when somebody teaches with stories, then history comes alive.
So Patrick didn't know about this story, and my dad didn't either. And who knows if it's not true? But we're going to say it's true.
Well, we're
'cause-
going to look into it now.
Yeah, we're gonna look-
Patrick's going to delve into it when he gets on the computer. at
Oh, I
home.
can't wait, because it's a spicy story. It's all goes for this spooky season. So scary. It's a kind of scary thing. So Highland Road, and I mean, obviously, what was like Highland Road back in the day?
I think it was. They said it was the natural
Waterway.
levee for the water. Like that's why it's always so low.
Okay.
All those houses on Holland Road are way down because
So you see how it goes up, and then it just
I
okay.
think it
That's
just
what.
yeah.
Yeah, you're right. That's what I think it is. So I read that there was a battle of Baton Rouge right there by Highland and Lee, kind of closer into campus. They were saying, and it was like it was like a bloody. I mean, war, whatever it was.
You wouldn't want to be in a Civil War battle.
No.
Okay.
And people are saying now it was called the Battle of Baton Rouge, and then some people have reported seeing like old soldiers like in Civil War outfits crossing the road a little bloody and like calling the police, and nobody's there.
You
I'm
sure
like,
that wasn't like the guy from
Whoa.
Kappa Alpha? It was
Fraternity
the
prank, huh?
old
Look,
South.
I'm like, I love
Could be.
that story. Like, oh my God. I know, but I'm not going there.
I'm
at
gonna
night.
I'm gonna look it up.
Look it up.
I'm gonna come back in October of 2025. I'll let you know what.
Let
I
me know
find.
if it's
All
true,
right.
because
Yeah,
I was
that's
like,
right.
because anything can be on the internet. You know that.
Absolutely.
You can Google anything. Even one of my friends, one of her daughter's papers got put on Google for like as a research thing, and she's like, she does not know what she's talking about. I was like, she does not need to be on Google.
That's scary, but
And
true.
It's true. It's true. So, is there anything like else you want to add on the website that you want to mention? Any other places? Because like I could sit here all day, and it's like the minute we turn this off, we're gonna like remember 20 things. LaFonda's. I remember LaFonda's.
Yeah. We
LaFonda's.
mentioned that last while. A lot of the restaurants that are
Yeah,
gone,
you remember all that, and
It's sad. That
see,
one right there, Nickelodeon.
So I never heard of that. So where was this at?
I thought it was on Chime Street. I really did. Then it was on Chime Street,
Uh-huh.
but someone said it was downtown.
Really?
Yeah, that's the one I came across in an old copy of the Reveille.
Dad, do you know what that is? Or he's looking at
I
it.
remember hearing it, but I don't remember where it was. No.
There's so much. Just north of LSU, there's a trove of things that, now there's a big shopping mall and apartments, but like there used to be a strip mall with an IHOP and a movie theater and the bank and all that, and it just changes over time. It disappeared. They've torn all that down and put up new stuff. And Chime Street, State Street, they're constantly changing.
I know, and like I remember they said like that over there where Coffee Call was. It was that whole village shopping area, and then it turned into like a Surface merchandise, and then all
Yeah.
that went away. I think Walmart got it.
Walmart took it.
You know,
yeah.
took it, and but yeah, Wendy saying Leo's roller rink and ice rink. That was, oh my God, the memories there. Oh, I loved it. And then the Darren saying the drive-through movie. I don't remember that.
There's I think Baton Rouge had maybe 4 or 5. You know where there was one?
Well, they had a Rebel.
They had the Rebel.
Yeah, right.
They had the Tiger. They
Right.
had they had the 2 of them. They had 2 screens of, you know, where Sherwood Forest meets Airline Highway.
Yes.
Yeah.
There's a Chevrolet dealership there.
Yeah.
That used to be a twin cinema drive-in. They had
Okay.
2 screens. But you know, places like that in Louisiana, it's just
Ooh, it's
too,
rough in the summer.
It's too hot. You know,
It is too hot.
It's just
is.
too hot.
You can't
Well,
do it. No.
I have a lot of
Nostalgia only brings you
memories.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
But I'm so like the ice rink isn't open anymore. Leo's ice
No,
skating.
no,
It's
that's the one by
not?
Cortana Mall, right? They had the
Yeah.
ice skating rink and the roller
Dude,
rink.
yeah, Duty
Yeah,
had some parties there.
Peyton
Yeah,
had
Peyton
ice
did-
skating.
Yeah.
yeah.
It was,
But
I loved like. I mean, we skated all the time in the in the 80s and the 70s. That's what we did.
But-
I loved all that. The disco ball in the middle. Oh my God.
I know the
Yeah.
ice skating place. The ice skating place I think it was just too hard. You know, during the summer months they couldn't operate because they couldn't keep it cold, and you know.
Yeah, I mean, it was just so. I remember my friend Catherine and her son actually came on. Robbie Podorsky. He's doing the baseball stuff, and when we met, well, I knew Catherine from a long time ago, but when we met, like, saw each other again after a million years, our kids were little, and Robbie was playing. They're from Chicago, and Robbie was playing on a little. Remember, we had the little hockey team, the Kingfish.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So
we went
he-
to games.
So
those games.
he wasn't playing on that team, but he was doing like a little kids league, and he was doing the ice skating
At the
at the. It was at that. I guess it's the Leos. Was it Leos?
yeah. So
Yeah, all of it was Leos.
I think LSU may have had like an intramural team. I remember being there and these guys showing up with equipment and everything.
Really?
But yeah, they had purple and gold, and it wasn't an official.
Are we?
was it
Do we
intramural?
have a hockey team here now? Why do I think we do? What somebody said we did.
This is
Yeah, they did put one.
they
in.
changed the name though. They're not the
It's not the Kingfish.
not the
anymore.
Kingfish
I
anymore,
know.
which that would have been
That's
perfect.
so cool. I know
Yeah.
because but
Yeah,
that
I
was
think they
Huey
played
P.
it-
Long's nickname, the Kingfish.
They
right?
played a couple exhibition games last year to see if there was enough interest, and I think
Okay.
that they've decided to come back full time.
Oh really?
Well, now, I'm sure. I guess they'll be starting soon.
Well, I just remember taking, and I'm sure you took Peyton, the kids when they were little. To some, and remember they would have those I don't know what those little balloon things, and they would drop that thing.
Yeah, they had a Domino's blimp,
yes,
and they would
the
drop
blimp,
coupons or
yes.
something. Yeah,
And I mean, you would have thought like my kid, we were going to die if we didn't get one. I mean, it was craziness, and I'm like, I don't even know. We never got one,
And I don't know anything about hockey.
They
You
didn't
watch
come
the
by
game,
us,
you're
no.
like, well, let's hope a fight breaks out. Because
but it was fun because they were like, fighting,
Yeah.
and it's like, oh my God, this is
Well,
so
the
crazy.
Kingfish, they had their official enforcer. So there was somebody on the team that was going to spend about 90% of the game in the penalty box
I just remember
because he was there
fun.
to knock a few teeth out or just make sure that the best player on the other team didn't score a goal.
just get the crowd riled up. you know?
Absolutely,
And
yeah,
it was
right.
fun. The kids loved
Yeah,
that.
and if
They-
it comes back, that would be
so
that'd
good to
be
bring the
great,
brands.
yeah.
No, absolutely. Okay, so Wendy saying Broadmoor had a drive-in. I don't know. Did they, Dad?
I don't remember. We didn't go to drive-in much here in Baton Rouge. We went a lot when we were kids down in
In New Orleans.
in
There
New
was-
Orleans, Battery. Yeah.
There was one. Speaking of Fleur de Lis, there was one right behind Fleur de Lis.
Really?
If you look at a Google Earth, there's a big old apartment complex,
Wow.
and it's clearly was a drive-in
Really
right there.
drive-in.
Really?
And they had one further down by Roquelon. They had one there. They had
Oh,
one
God, yeah, okay.
yeah. I think the Rebel drive-in must have been where the Rebel Shopping Center was. I guess, right, Harry?
Probably right. Yeah.
So
Yeah, and then Funfair Park, yeah. Oh, yeah, Troy New Generation. Funfair Park and New Generation. We talked about that last time. I love New Generation.
Good old memories.
Yeah, those were so many good memories. We do. Baton Rouge was a cool place to grow up in. The Toy was filmed here.
yes, yeah, yeah.
You know, if I was really, 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 really rich, like really rich, I would go to that man's house that had the toy house. You know, the house right there on Old Perkins?
Yes,
I
yeah.
passed it because Lindsay lives off of Old Perkins. I want to live in that house so bad. I don't know why, but I do. I want to live there.
Now you remember, honey, that the
yeah.
part of the set from the toy people here, our friends, bought that and put it
Yeah,
in
they
their
were
backyard.
savages.
Yeah.
Well, that's why I have such good memories because they bought like the Oh my gosh! Wendy, you were an extra in the toy. I'm gonna have to go back and watch it.
No, that's.
Oh my gosh!
We're gonna need specifics on
Yeah,
that.
where were you?
Yeah, we got to look for that.
That was with my mom one night. Late, and the mall was getting ready to close, and we were at Maison Blanche at Cortana, and we were upstairs. And all of a sudden, Richard Pryor walks by.
No way!
You know the famous scene where he's rolling in the.
Yes.
They were filming that scene, and he walked right by. I mean, we just happened to be at the mall for whatever reason that late at night, and so that's my claim to fame with Richard Pryor. He walked by.
Really, that's
cool.
but that is so cool. So I remember there was a boy from Sacred Heart that was in the film too, and I was just like, well, I'm going to be in the film too, which I was not. Okay, wait. Somebody was filming Catfish Town, and that's so cool.
Yep.
Oh, the levee scene. Okay, Wendy.
And they also put some kind of sign up at the Exxon entrance because they had some old part of the movie had a refiner in it. And
a lot of the scenes are right across from the Exxon refinery.
Right, exactly.
All that's green space now.
Right.
But if you look at it now and you look at the movie scene, all the houses are gone.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh wow.
So it's
Rebuilt.
yeah.
Yeah, it came on not too long ago, and I was watching it, and it was just so crazy to see everything back. And I was like letting my grandkids watch it, and then I was like, oh, I can't watch this. Some of the scenes were kind of a little questionable.
Yeah, it wasn't exactly a little kids movie.
Carter was like, honey, that lady. I'm like, oh no, we're gonna change it.
When you realize what you thought was okay in the grand,
I'm like, what were we watching back then? So that was so cool. And okay, Troy put Goofy Golf on Florida Boulevard.
Yeah. Now they actually had a real putt on Florida out by the airline, right, or very close to it.
Right by Cullen, right kind of across from Cullen's playland.
It was actually a legitimate putt.
Yes, had the orange 2x4s.
Yeah,
kept the ball.
Yeah.
Did we go there, Dad? I don't remember.
I know Margaret and I went at least one time, probably for nostalgia's sake, because we used to, when we were teenagers, we used to play putt-putt in Metairie, because they had a huge 3-course putt-putt there and held tournaments and everything. It was a lot of fun.
Oh, wow.
If you were tame and weren't out drinking and riding around.
I'd say when y'all were dating.
Maybe even before that. The CYO used to have an event there. We would everybody would show up,
When did you came to LSU? And did you just stay here after you graduated, or did you go somewhere and come back to Baton Rouge?
No, we just were here. I finished in '73 and went to work, even before I graduated, actually, in August of '73.
So you've got a lot of Baton Rouge history in your head.
It was there in the head at one time, but it's all gone now.
And then like the Krispy Kreme, over there. That was because we lived in North Baton Rouge when I was a baby,
Well, over at St. Jude, they used to sell donuts on Sunday morning, I think, or something like that. And we used to go with the CYO at St. Jude and buy 800,000 dozen donuts and bring them there and sell them. And we used to go out onto Plank to go get the donuts.
Still the same place to go.
Absolutely.
I know, and Tony Seafood's still the best. I mean, gosh, those boudin balls. You can't. I'm telling you, nobody has a better boudin ball than them.
I brought some to New Orleans for my niece's in-laws from Pennsylvania to try.
They're the best. Like you can't. I'm going everywhere with the boudin balls. I love boudin balls. Like I still think they're the best. Okay, Darren. He said Buckskin Bill.
Yeah, we don't have any pictures of Buckskin.
I know.
We'll have to look at that next time.
He was like really good. Oh yeah, the old Klein Peter wooden store on the corner of Segan and Perkins. Yeah, and you just told a story to Troy about riding down like when he was in here.
Not long after that store, when that store was there when we moved here in '79, it was still there. It wasn't open, but it was the old general store looking, and that was the end of the world. Segan Lane and Perkins.
St. George. I remember St. George was like nothing then. It was
in
like
the boonies.
It was in the boonies. It really was.
Pitch dark at night, 2-lane road.
Isn't that crazy? And now it's like St. George is a powerhouse school now. Big old school and
it's amazing how the population just shifted to that area and
so
just
many
exploded.
people. Yeah, just so many people.
Yeah.
But anyways, all right. Well, anything else to add, Dad?
I want to save some things for the next trip. in
Because we're going to get you
in
again.
October of 2025.
No, you're like
I'm putting it in my calendar, October 20.
Put it down.
I
We
know,
schedule way in
because
advance.
there's so many things. Like I know, like I'm gonna get off and be like, "Oh my gosh, I can't believe." No, you know what I want. That's what I wanted to say. Do you remember on the news they had that show that was PM or what was that news?
PM Magazine.
PM
yeah,
Magazine.
Yeah.
Remember that?
Yes.
Do you remember that they had that? Do you remember that, Dad? No.
No, I don't. But
It was
That's
it
about
was
everything.
it was a nationwide thing. The stories were
Okay.
nationwide, but they had local hosts.
oh, okay.
Yes, you remember
So,
that? I don't know why I remembered that, and I did
I
watch
actually
it.
have Ricky Barksdale's and Deborah Sauer's autographs.
Really?
Yeah.
Very cool.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, no, that was a great show, and around, well, it's a little bit before our time, but during the video craze of the '80s,
Mhm.
all the high schools in Baton Rouge made videos, like
Oh,
they
really?
lip sync videos. Yes, I'll send it to you. There's one
dude.
for I found, I think, Episcopals and Catholic highs.
Really?
Yeah, and they got the
That's
students
real-
to dance and lip sync and all that stuff.
Really?
Cool.
Yeah.
That is so cool. Yeah, so it's just like the more you start thinking, and thank you everybody who watched tonight and like just contributed, because that really makes the show more fun.
Absolutely.
I like that we have people that are contributing now, and it's like all the people that missed it. Oh well, y'all missed it, you know. Yeah, I don't get to say nothing now, you know. But I mean, it just makes it fun because like what I remember, what you remember, what Dad remembers, and what other people remember,
Yeah.
it's just so unique. And you know, I was telling Patrick too. Like my favorite thing was going to Eckerd Drugs. Going, my mom would be going grocery shopping. I think it was it Gel Champs that was right there. I'm talking on Starring. What was that grocery store?
I don't recall. Like I said, I know there was a Howard's in there.
There was Howard Brothers. Maybe I'm
Howard's.
thinking of Howard Brothers.
Might have been Howard's, because I don't think there was a grocery store. But
Maybe
I
it
do remember
wasn't.
Howard's.
Okay, so it was Howard Brothers, and then there was the Eckerd's, and then there was and like back then Fashion Gal was like, oh my God, there's like a Fashion Gal. I thought it was like big girl clothes, you know? Fashion Gal. I
How old
remember.
are you?
I know, how old am I? And I just remember I got a shirt there one time with a parrot on it, and I thought I was just the bomb. You know? Just the cheesiest stuff. And look, Darren saying K and B, because that was
Yeah. With the purple.
and TG and Y. I mean, we could just go Fassie. Wendy
Fashion
remembered.
gal.
It was the best. Why did we like it so much? I bought my first two piece as like a big person there. Like when I was like 14 or something.
It would
was
be
fun.
nice one day to like maybe do a New Orleans nostalgia if we, you know.
But I don't. I remember some things, but not. I could give you the French Quarter lowdown.
I hear you know something about that.
You know that there is the New Orleans Old Images Facebook page is called "Ain't There No More."
Oh, I love
That's
it.
good. That's
I
good.
love it.
Yeah, and it's classic. People will post a picture of something that's gone, and it, you
Yeah.
know the last sentence is "Ain't there no more."
And there's a lot that ain't there no more.
Oh
that's
my
for
gosh,
sure.
New Orleans is
Exactly.
so funny. Well, I had fun having you back. I really did.
I love talking about it. I'm
It's so cool.
glad to be here.
Yeah, no, it's so fun. We could go on forever with this.
Absolutely.
And but you have to come back again.
Yep.
Well,
You're a returning guest.
I'm gonna
Right.
I'm gonna try to find some good stuff.
Yeah,
It's
yeah.
like, you know, Steve Martin on Saturday Night Live. You know, until you get the green jacket, you know, with the 15th visit or
that's
something
right.
like.
I know. Next time I'll make y'all a happy.
There you go.
Yeah, that's right. I'm the only member of the two timer club.
That's
you
right.
are.
That's
That
it.
doesn't sound right. Two timers.
Well, no, probably not.
Maybe it's a two timers club. Very exclusive. I'm the only one that belongs.
Yeah, there you
to it.
go.
That's
There
right.
you go.
That's right. You're the special guest.
Well, thank you again, Patrick, for
Sure.
coming on and bringing all those memories with us. That's really good.
Absolutely.
So, honey, what are we doing next week?
Okay, Dad. Is it Rebecca?
Yes, it is.
Okay, so Rebecca, she's a firefighter, and she actually was in the same firehouse as I think Judy Donnelly was
Really?
years ago.
No, I
But
didn't
she's
know.
still there. So she's coming on, and she's going to talk to us about all. I mean, I don't know her very well. I've met her through a friend of mine who she's a great person. But Rebecca, I think she just has a huge heart. She's just to be a firefighter.
Yeah, that sounds like a great guest.
It is a great
Yeah,
guest.
it's gonna be
and
cool.
It is going to be cool. I'm so excited to have her. So really exciting. It'll be fun.
Right. Okay. Well, everybody, thanks for tuning in. If you didn't catch the show, then you're watching it cold. It'll be out there tomorrow, and
That's right.
and out on Apple Podcasts tomorrow as well. But hopefully you'll be with us next week. Again, next week we're going to be on Tuesday. So just want to remind her about that. We still have flag football season going on.
Oh yeah, that trumps everything. And I wanted to tell you, Wendy said thank you, Patrick.
Oh.
Yep.
Yeah, she did. Pull that up, Dad.
Yep.
But so he can see. But yeah, she did.
Yeah, that's nice of her.
Yes. So yes, thank you, Patrick.
Thanks everybody, and we'll see you again next Tuesday at 7 p.m. God bless. And look, we're sorry that you missed some of the debate tonight with the vice president candidates. And
Oh
so forth.
shoot.
But we probably spared you from a lot of anguish.
Probably.
Yeah. So take care. We'll see you all next week.